In today's video, I'm going to talk about the best areas to invest into in Abu Dhabi as an expat. Now, before we would get into the actual areas, why would you invest in Abu Dhabi in the first case if you own property in Dubai already, or if it's your first entry into the UAE, why would you pick Abu Dhabi instead of Dubai? Because Dubai is what everybody else seems to be talking about. Well, let me tell you my personal opinion. So I own property in Dubai. I am a golden visa holder, and despite all of that, I'm still actively reallocating more capital into Abu Dhabi. And this isn't a Dubai versus Abu Dhabi argument. Dubai is Dubai. There is no replacement for it. Abu Dhabi is never going to be Dubai, and its purpose isn't to be like Dubai. But the next decade of growth, regulations, and supply scarcity easily, in my opinion, points to east on the map. It seems to me clearly like Abu Dhabi is going to deliver, in most cases, better returns than Dubai will. The setup is still the same, right? You can get 0% income tax and all of the tax regulations in Abu Dhabi. The population growth of Abu Dhabi is actually faster than Dubai on a percentage basis. It's around 7.5% annually. They hold around $1.7 trillion in sovereign wealth. So Abu Dhabi is the wealthier city and emirate. And they only opened freehold in 2019, whereas Dubai opened freehold to expats in 2002. So you're actually getting in a lot earlier in the freehold cycle. Now let's talk about supply and demand a little bit more, because if I had to give you just one argument on why Abu Dhabi is great, this would probably be it. So if we are looking at the amount of new units that are coming to the market in the next couple of years, in Dubai, you have around 400,000 units planned to come to the market in the next couple of years. Whereas that number in Abu Dhabi is around the 10th of that, around 30 to maximum 40,000 units. And if we are looking at the amount of new residents that both of these cities are adding, Dubai added around 220,000 new residents last year in 2025, and Abu Dhabi added around 180,000. And I am only focusing on the city of Abu Dhabi, by the way, not the entire emirate, because I don't feel like that would be a fair comparison, as it's obviously much bigger in size. So we have approximately 10 times less new supply coming to a city with comparable population growth. And Abu Dhabi's government is much more strict when it comes to how much supply they allow on the market, right? They are not going to let developers just build and launch left and right. They are much more conservative because they don't want to have the same issue happening that is happening in some areas of Dubai, right? They learn from all of the quote unquote mistakes that Dubai has made in the last 20 or so years, and they are trying to make sure that they don't make any of those. Why does it make sense to invest in Abu Dhabi now instead of waiting another couple of years? Well, you have 4 structural advantages in place. First of all, you have the timing arbitrage. So freehold has only been open for expats in Abu Dhabi since 2029, and Dubai opened it in 2002. So you are actually stepping into a 17-year younger cycle, right, comparing it to Dubai. Then you have the supply scarcity, so roughly 10 times less new supply coming to the market than Dubai with similar demand, and developers cannot just flood this market. Then you have financial flexibility. So payment plans from government developers are a lot easier in Abu Dhabi than they are in Dubai. In Dubai, you will generally see 70-30, 80-20 from the biggest developers, whereas in Abu Dhabi, you will see 40-60, 50-50 payment plans, and the registration fee of a property is only 2%, which is something that you pay to ADM, instead of the 4% that you have to pay to DLD in Dubai. And it's also an alternative lifestyle, right? If you want to be in the UAE, if you want to experience what this amazing country has to offer, you can also go for Abu Dhabi, which offers a much more quiet, family-orientated and modest lifestyle for those that are tired of the hustle and bustle of Dubai. Not that there's anything wrong with Dubai, again, I still love Dubai, but I personally found that after years and years of being in the city, it can kind of wear you down. It can be a bit too much, and Abu Dhabi offers an amazing alternative to that within the same country. So here are the 5 islands that I'm going to be talking about today. First one, Ramhan Island. This is the ultra luxury segment. I wanted to put this first because you probably haven't heard about it yet. They offer exclusivity here, a low amount of supply, and direct waterfront villas only. So every single villa in Ramhan Islands has access to the water, and I would say it's mainly just for ultra high net worth investors. Then we are going to talk about Reem Island as well, and this is adjacent to one of the fastest growing financial centers in the world, ADGM, which is on Al Marja Island, and Reem Island is right next to it, and they actually expanded the ADGM region to cover Reem Island as well. Then we are going to talk about Yas Island, the entertainment hub, where you have some of the biggest, theme parks in the world and a bunch of, activities that you could be doing. Then we will talk about Saadiyat and Fahid Island, the cultural beach lifestyle. And then lastly, we'll talk about my favorite one, Hudayriyat Island, which is a mega project in Abu Dhabi developed by Modon. Personally, I am planning to live there, just to give you a little bit of a teaser. So Ramhan Island, you want to think about an ultra luxury project like in Jumeirah Bay in Dubai, where some of these mansions are going for literally hundreds of millions of dirhams. There is more supply compared to Jumeirah Bay, definitely coming to Ramhan Island, but in my opinion, this has the potential to outclass the Palm. It's going to feel more exclusive. The price per square foot, in my opinion, will reach that of the Palms, or in some cases even surpass it. You have direct waterfront, crystal mangrove waters, and also some of the villas even offer private docks for your yacht, right? It's secluded but well connected at the same time to Saadiyat Island and Yas Island. Now, the developer of Ramhan Island is actually Eagle Hills, which was founded by the same person who owns MR, and MR actually owns 25% of Eagle Hills. The current entry point is definitely over 10 million dirhams if you want to buy directly from the developer. They're going to start handing over in 2027. And one thing I would look out for or watch out for in the next year or so is apartment launches in this community, because for now it's been only villas. And some of the people who bought early here are already seeing amazing gains on their investment. But I believe that apartments are also going to be a really good investment in this area at a much lower price point. So to show you on the map, this is where Ramhan Island is, and this is kind of how the master plan looks. As you can see, it's very beautiful and futuristic as well. And this is a rendering of one of the villas that you can buy there. As you can see, you have an amazing infinity pool in your backyard, and it directly opens onto the waterfront. Here's another type as well. They offer everything from 3 bedrooms all the way up to 7-bedroom villas. And here's the part that they haven't launched yet, actually, the marina part, where you're going to have these amazing waterfront apartments as well. This is something where if they launch it at the right price per square foot, I would probably be interested in even buying in myself. Here's another rendering as well of how this community is going to look like. And the waters there are actually crystal clear. It's kind of similar to the Maldives, super turquoise and amazing color. Now, if you're interested, by the way, in any of the projects that we are talking about today, you want to find out the current availability or even explore some off-market options at any budget range, feel free to scan this QR code and send me a message on WhatsApp if you want to chat. No obligation to buy anything, of course, but that's the best way for me to help you out if I know exactly what you're looking for and what your criterias are. Now, the second island I wanted to talk about is Reem Island. This is on the other side of the spectrum. You don't need to be an ultra high net worth investor to buy here, but I believe that Reem Island is also an incredible area to get into right now. So Al Reem Island sits right beside Al Marja Island, which is Abu Dhabi's ADGM financial district. And at the moment, there is a $16 billion expansion, which is turning this area into one of the world's largest financial centers, drawing hedge funds, family offices, and BlackRock tier capital. A lot of people call Abu Dhabi the capital of capital because it's backed by $1.7 trillion in sovereign wealth across ADIA, Mubadala, and ADQ as well. So Reem Island does feel like more of an urban location within Abu Dhabi. You get year-round end-user demand from the financial sector workers, which have been growing rapidly. You also get longer leases and premium rents driven by end users who are working in ADGM. It's a central location. You can access the main city of Abu Dhabi and Saadiyat Island within minutes. There is Reem Mall there, which is a huge mall in Abu Dhabi with 400 shops, and it's an anchor amenity, right? But one caveat I would add in here when it comes to Reem Island is that the supply is fragmented across many developers here because they sold the land not to just one master developer, but they sold separate plots to different developers. So you have to be very selective with the price per square foot that you are entering into Reem Island, and also the plot location is really important because not every single part of Reem Island will appreciate evenly. But if you have a budget of 1.5 to 3 million dirhams, then this is a great location to get into. If we look at some of the numbers, right, of ADGM, they had a 67% newly issued licenses growth rate, 43% increase in operational entities, 17% growth rate in the financial sector workforce, and 33% growth in assets under management in just the last year. And if we look at the map, that's exactly where Al Reem Island is located. Here's a picture of it as well, so you get an idea. A lot of the plots are still empty, so it does look a little bit patchy in real life, but it's going to be a nice waterfront urban location in the city with amazing yields. Now, the third island is Yas Island. This is probably a location that you have already heard about before. This is the entertainment engine of Abu Dhabi. The top half of Yas Island is mainly for families and villas, right? So it's more residential. And then the bottom half is more so entertainment. So you have the Yas Marina circuit here where Formula One Grand Prix is. You have Yas Links, championship 18-hole golf course. Then you have Yas Beach with white sand and mangroves. You have Yas Marina. You have Ferrari World, Warner Brothers World, Sea World, Yas Water World, CLYMB, Disneyland, which has now officially been announced as well. They are building Las Vegas style Sphere as well, which is $1 billion project. They have Etihad Arena, Yas Bay, Yas Mall, so many things that support really tourism here. In terms of an investor point of view, in my opinion, the price per square foot is relatively high here already, and a lot of the island is directly under a flight path. So you are going to get strong seasonal short-term rentals. Capital appreciation has already been proven to be amazing in this area in the last couple of years. But again, you have to pick the right project at the right entry point. And I would say that's kind of the common theme of this entire video. You cannot just blindly invest anywhere in Abu Dhabi. It's really important that you pick the right project for you and for your budget, and you enter at the right price per square foot. Now, if we're looking at the map, that's exactly where Yas Island is located. So you can see that it's actually super close to the Zayed International Airport. Here's Ferrari World. Here's the announcement of the new Disneyland that's coming soon. Here's the Sphere that is going to be coming to Yas Island. Here's SeaWorld, and here's Formula One. So literally world-class entertainment amenities. The next island, and I actually decided to add the bonus island here as well, is Saadiyat Island, but I will also pair this together with Fahid Island. Saadiyat Island is kind of the cultural hubspot of Abu Dhabi. They have a bunch of incredible museums there, like the Louvre, Guggenheim Museum, Zayed National Museum, and many more as well. And if we look at the appreciation that has happened in Saadiyat Island in the last couple of years, it's nothing short of amazing. The Mamsha beachfront apartments have launched under 2 million dirhams just a couple of years ago, and now they trade at 2.5 to 3 times that. The front row units, the ones that have like the best views of the water and directly are sitting on the water, are the ones that have appreciated the most. So for both Saadiyat and Fahid Island as well, one thing I would say is if you want to invest here, here, try to go for a first row unit, right? The ones with a clear view of the water. The rest of the units are not going to appreciate the same way. So yes, you might be paying a little bit of extra right now to get a better view from your unit, but most likely in the future, the appreciation you will have on that apartment is going to be way higher than the extra that you have to pay right now to pick the better unit. And if you're looking at Fahid Island, it kind of shares a similar DNA with Saadiyat, but with more of a modern build, right? So it's currently priced still behind Saadiyat prime units. So my expectation for Fahid Island is that it will slowly catch up to today's pricing of Saadiyat for the best positioned units. And Fahid is kind of positioned by the developer as a wellness island. Again, you have lots of amazing beaches there. So it will be also a really nice community to live in. So this is Saadiyat Island with all the museums and the cultural district. And that's exactly where it's located on the map. And then this is going to be Fahid Island. For now, there is not much there aside from the beach and the mangroves, but they are going to be building this master plan in the next couple of years, all developed by Aldar, which is also a government developer. So that's where Fahid Island is. And last but not least, my favorite location in all of Abu Dhabi, Hudayriyat Island. This is my personal first choice, master plan by Modon, government backed, a healthy lifestyle focused community, and the size of it is almost the same size as Manhattan. This is where I plan to live once it starts handing over. So it's 86% the size of Manhattan. It's 9 times larger in terms of actual landmass than Palm Jumeirah, and it offers 16 kilometers of natural sandy beaches. Now, from an investor point of view, in my opinion, this is going to be one of the most desired locations to live in the UAE in the next 5 to 7 years. And right now, you can still get in at a relatively low price per square foot. You're working with a government developer with amazing payment plans. Most of the units are priced significantly lower than other comparable apartments, which are ready. You have lots of amenities, crystal clear beaches, good connectivity, and also it will be a low density location. So they are not building too many apartments here. It will be mainly just villas throughout the entire island. Here's a rendering of what it's going to look like. And if you are paying attention here, you can notice that there is an elevation on this island. So they actually built 6 hills, which are up to 60 meters high, that are going to have insane mansions on it. And this is a very unique concept in the UAE, right? Because it's elevation engineering. So in my opinion, it's as unique of a concept as the Palm Jumeirah was initially when it first came to the market, being on the water as an artificial island. This is an image of their recent Hudayriyat Golf Estates launch, where they are offering golf front villas, townhouses. And wow, what a success this launch has already been. Here's another image of one of the villas that you could buy on Hudayriyat Island. They offer everything from apartments as low as around 2 million dirhams, all the way up to mansions for over 100 million dirhams. Here's a look on Bashia Residences, one of the low density apartment communities that they will have here. And in terms of the pricing, right, for beachfront luxury apartments, you are paying between 2.2K to around 2.7K dirhams per square foot. Now, just to put this into perspective, on Saadiyat, for a front row apartment, you are going to be paying at least 4,500 per square foot. So it's not priced like crazy high in my opinion at all. The value for money is definitely here because they're not making these huge skyscrapers with thousands of units. It's low density. And for the villas, you're paying anywhere from as low as around 1,000 dirhams per square foot to around 2.7, maybe 4,000 for the most unique waterfront villas. But most of the supply is going to sit between 1,000 to 2,000 dirhams per square foot. So it's not like crazy unreasonable. And if you are, comparing always the specific unit with a ready comparable, it's usually priced under that. And again, you have very friendly payment plans on these products. It's either 40/60 or 50/50. And all of the launches here on Hudayriyat in the last year or so have been huge successes. They have sold out like this. So the liquidity is definitely here for this location on the market. Now, on the island, you have Surf Abu Dhabi, which is already operational, the world's largest artificial wave. They also have 5-star hotel already operational on the island. I actually was spending some time there last week. I had an amazing time. They're going to have 2 golf courses, one of them championship grade, already PGA certified. They have the biggest sports complex in the Middle East, a championship grade velodrome as well, 16 kilometers of sandy beach, 3 up to 60-meter high hills with incredible views of the Abu Dhabi skyline and the sea as well. And it's going to be really like a family first location, right? You have everything that you need here in one place. You have all the sports amenities that you could want, you know, football fields, tennis courts, paddle courts, whatever it is that you are into, even a huge cycling track. You have schools, private schools, a mall, restaurants coming, hospital coming, clinics coming, everything. So if you didn't want to, you really wouldn't have to leave this island basically ever. And here's just a quick comparison on how Hudayriyat reminds me of Palm Jumeirah when it was first launched. So government backing, you know, both of these projects were built by government-backed entities. You have a revolutionary concept in both cases. So with Palm Jumeirah, it was an artificial island. With Hudayriyat, it's elevation engineering. The freehold maturity in terms of when it was launched in the freehold cycle, you know, Palm Jumeirah was launched very early, just 1 year into the Dubai freehold cycle. Hudayriyat is 7 years in, but that is still considered early in most markets, right? Then we are looking at the supply scarcity. So you have moderate supply that was already coming and being built in Dubai. In Abu Dhabi, now you have 10 times less supply than what is coming to Dubai. And also, obviously, even from all of that supply that's coming to the market, just a small percent of that is villas, and an even smaller percent of that is close to amazing golf courses, all these facilities and sandy beaches. So it's a really good product. And then premium positioning, right? So both of these are positioned really, really well when it comes to the actual map, and we are looking at it. So here's my personal opinion on what I would buy with my money at each budget point. And this doesn't mean that this is what you should buy. The smart thing to do is get in touch with someone who can give you unbiased advice at what would make sense for your specific criteria, because it actually matters a lot whether you're buying this for end use or you're buying it as an investment, whether you want just high yields or you want capital appreciation. Like, you have to go in different directions, you know, based on what it is that you want exactly. But if it was up to me, between 1 to 2.5 million dirhams, I would probably want some yield, like actually good yield with some appreciation as well. I would be buying a Reem Island apartment or a Yas Island, really nice 1-bedroom, between 2.5 to 5 million. Let's say I wanted to do more of a growth play, I wanted my money to grow, I would probably either buy a nice 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom, amazing sea view apartment on Hudayriyat, or ideally I would try to get a Hudayriyat townhouse. For 10 million dirhams, I would probably be buying just a nice 5-bedroom Hudayriyat villa. And then if I had 13, 14 million dirhams or even more than that, then I would be either buying a Ramhan Island villa or a very unique Hudayriyat villa. Or if I had, you know, 50, 100 plus million, then maybe a nice waterfront Saadiyat Island villa. Of course, this is just my opinion and what I would personally pick, but your needs are completely different to me. So keep that in mind. Now, here's what you should remember when you close this video. The first one is that Abu Dhabi is structurally undersupplied, 10 times less new stock than Dubai with similar population growth. So that alone reprices a market. Then the second one is that you are also early into the freehold cycle that Abu Dhabi has. So expat freehold is still young here, only 7 years old, and the early cycle premium hasn't fully arrived. In my opinion, Abu Dhabi is going to see a lot of price growth, especially in good projects. The third point is to pick the island for your buyer profile. So if you are looking for yield, then maybe Reem Island will be a good option for you. If you're looking to rent short term, maybe Yas Island is your choice. If you're looking for a nice apartment lifestyle, maybe Saadiyat or Fahid will be your perfect option. If you're looking for holding for the long game and you want appreciation and something for your family, maybe Hudayriyat and getting a villa there is what you should be doing. If you want an absolute trophy asset, maybe you should go for an amazing Ramhan Island villa. So there is no one size fits all when it comes to this. You should look at what you want and then try to find the best investment for that. Then the fourth point is to pick the unit ruthlessly, right? Try to go with the right developer at the right price per square foot and try to get a front row, clean view investment if you can, because the wrong unit in the right area is still going to underperform compared to the right unit in the right area. And then the fifth and final point is to be prepared for a good launch. Good launches sell out fast in Abu Dhabi. It's not like Dubai where you can take your time. So the best strategy is to create a plan, decide in advance what you want to buy, and then position yourself in a way so that when the right opportunity actually comes up, you can pull the trigger and secure the exact unit that you want to have. So if you have any questions about buying in Abu Dhabi, or you want to find out current availability and off-market options, feel free to go ahead and reach out to me on WhatsApp, or you can also schedule a free meeting with me in the description down below at the first link. So thank you so much for your time. I wish you the best of luck with finding the right unit for you, and hopefully I will see you in the next video on this channel.